Good morning. I am Jamie Grohl, and I am so excited to have you here with me today. We're going to be talking about client offboarding and how you can automate it. I'm going to be giving you some reasons why you should be doing this, and then I'm going to show you how in TaxDome you can use some of the amazing automation features to automate your practice. And first, I want to talk to why this is going on, why offboarding your clients is as critical as a very thoughtful and strategic onboarding process. So in our program, Workflows for Tax Pros, we teach tax professionals and accountants and even bookkeepers how to automate their workflows. And so the first thing that they often come to us with is, I want to eliminate my engagement letter. I want to eliminate my deposit invoicing. I want to eliminate these parts that get things started because that is how I feel like I'm bottlenecking. But one thing that gets often left off of the end is the very critical offboarding. Offboarding is important because one, this is the final touch you're going to have with your clients. This is the taste that you leave in their mouth at the end of your tax season. And so if you are somebody who has felt like your offboarding is clunky or that's non-existent, then you definitely want to listen to this video. So if you're here with me, leave me a little comment in the chat and let me know if you have a formal offboarding process. I would love to hear yes or no in the chat. Client offboarding can be structured in a way that is automated, and that's really powerful. So once you have e-filed your client's returns and you are now pending the acknowledgement, there becomes this chance where your client can be guided to success. Oftentimes we hear from our clients that this is where clients start asking lots of questions. Where's my refund at? Where do I pay my bill at? How do I do that? I don't know about you guys, but I've gone onto the IRS website to make a payment towards my taxes due, and I'm a smart woman, and it's not easy to do. So there are some great opportunities that we have to guide our clients to success. You hear me talk about all the time. It's about timing and it's about breadcrumbing. We want to make sure that we're delivering thoughtful, intentional, and easy to understand instructions to our clients at the right time. And we want to break it down into little bits so that we're not overwhelming them with instructions. You guys know this is true. People don't read today unless they absolutely have to. So if we can break our communications down into timely, thoughtful, simple instructions that are breadcrumbed at the exact right moment, you're going to find that you're going to have less emails, less phone calls, and a lot less frustrated clients. So as I mentioned before, that final taste of the client's experience with you through your return process, that is where you get to shine. And then you get to ask for a review and even referrals if you choose. And that is where you can continue to grow your practice. But if you leave people with this out in the cold experience all by themselves, they're not going to react to that very well. Stephanie Foster says, we've started an offboarding process, but mainly for clients who aren't coming back for whatever reason. Super important to have an offboarding for those clients, right? We want to get them out. We want to make sure we have a process to get them out of our active client list. But what I'm going to be showing you is really going to up-level what you're doing. And I'm going to be showing it in primarily the context of TaxDome. The reason for that is TaxDome is one of the most powerful tools, if not the most powerful tool out in the tax and accounting industry right now for providing automations. Lots of other programs say that they're doing automation, but what TaxDome is automating is well beyond the task list that your team needs to complete, as well as just a document repository. TaxDome can actually create a custom experience for your clients, and that's what I'm going to show you. All right, so let's jump over, and I'm going to go ahead. All right, so let's talk about the first thing that can help us in creating an excellent client offboarding process. Number one, this is going to back us up a few steps in the program here. And I'm going to talk first about the use of conditional logic. So in TaxDome, we can utilize what are called tags to trigger specific experiences for our clients. Tags get applied to account level in TaxDome, and an account would be the entity that you are providing services for. So it could be an S Corp, it could be a married filing jointly couple, it could be just a single individual filer, it could be a C Corp, a partnership, any of the entities. They're all seen at the account level as an entity. So when we're applying tags, we apply them at the account level so that we can then trigger things that are custom to the scenario and the situation of that account. For example, you can see here I have many different tags. I have my entity type tags. I have my active year tags so I can track who's been active with me. I have custom account tags. You can do so many things with tags, and so the possibilities are endless. But what we're going to be using tags for is for a new feature that TaxDome has triggered or has created that is called organizer applied tags, automatic organizer applied tags at that, which is a really great feature that they just rolled out with right before tax season started. So we're still playing with how we can use this in the features. But one of the things that we have found that is really great is, again, giving an amazing client experience. It's the step before the offboarding. And that is how we're going to perform the review with the client. We hear from people all the time, I have 7 different ways I do my return reviews. And so what we have found, and when I say we, I mean myself and my partner, Jessica Smith, who is a brilliant enrolled agent who has a very successful, lean running, streamlined practice where she's working less than 30 hours a week as a busy mom in multiple businesses. So she's got her stuff dialed in. But what she did this year is she offers her clients the opportunity to tell her how they want to work with her. So she's using this tagging system to trigger some custom logic down the line. And so what she did is she built out her organizer to use this new feature that will allow her to apply a tag. So see here, I am in my organizer, and this is a section within the organizer, and it's called return review selection. And it gives her clients the opportunity to choose how they want to work with her. And so she asked them this question: how would you like to complete a review of your tax return? Do you want to do it live via Zoom, so us face-to-face on Zoom, or would you prefer for me to provide you a recorded video link using Loom? And so when she's doing this, you can see here how there's the pin there. If I click on this, I can go in here and I can now update account tags based on the choices that my client has made. So what we have done is, based on the response that they give, we can either add or remove tags at the account level. And so for us, we're going to apply a Zoom tag if they want to meet via Zoom, or we're going to apply a video review tag. And what we're going to see is that down here in our pipeline, we have received all the documents, and we now have a stage here where we're going to trigger 2 different messages. One is going to be a message that goes to our video review clients, those that selected the video review in their organizer, and we're going to send them a message that is very specific to what they're going to experience via the Loom process, what they can have, like how they're going to receive their return, why we want them to schedule an appointment with us, even though we're not going to actually meet. We're going to ask them to do X, and then they're going to perform that. In contrast, the people that said, I want to meet via Zoom, they're going to receive a different message that's going to have a different instruction set to them. And this gives them the knowledge and the timely, thoughtful breadcrumbing to take the next step. We're not telling them up front they need to go do these 75 things. No, we're telling them right at the time that we need them to take action, where we want them to take action. So we have applied this conditional logic. Now, I don't have time to go into all the how-tos of how you set up the conditional logic, why and how it works. That is what we cover in our program, Workflows for Tax Pros. We go deep on all of this and giving you the knowledge and the skill to use your TaxDome in this very sophisticated way to create an amazing client experience that requires less work for you. So I'm gonna just in there, I just wanted you to be aware of this powerful new feature in TaxDome. So we can trigger custom experience, custom communications, utilizing organizer questions. So cool. So the next thing I wanted to show you is how we can also use custom tags to trigger an experience at the end for our offboarding. So once we've gone through that return review in the manner that our client has preferred, then we're going to send them the 8879, also the invoice that is locked on the 8879. So we're getting the payment before we render the final steps of the service. No more AR, no more chasing that down. And we are going to then move into the stage where we have e-filed, we monitor for our acknowledgement, and all along the way, we have our queues and our stages, knowing exactly where this client return sits. Then we get to our final stage. And in this stage, after the acknowledgement's been received from the tax prep software, we are going to send specific instructions utilizing tags again. Now, tags can be applied through that organizer, as I just showed you. They can also be applied manually. And when we're manually applying tags, it is quite a simple process to do. Let me pop over, show you. You would open up an account. So I'm actually going to use the green lookup bar here, and I'm going to look for this client, this November test client. I'm going to click on them. You can search a name so you can find the exact account that you're wanting to get to. When you're in here, you can apply tags by going to the info tab of the account, going to edit, and then applying your tag this way. Now I'm going to put balance due here for my client, and I'm going to save this. So now this client has been tagged with a balance due tag. When we are going into our process, so when we're going in and we're creating our jobs and we have our jobs in our pipeline, I'm going to go ahead and add this job in. I'm building on the fly, if you guys can't tell. I'm like, I have so many things I want to show you. So I'm trying to be selective here for my limited amount of time. So I'm going to add my job here, and I'm going to actually move it down after I refresh. I'll have my job in here. And so from here, I can actually just pop into this little list, and I can go down and find my final documents and complete. And I'm going to drop this in here, and this is going to trigger the balance due email. And our balance due email is going to give our clients instructions on how to file their return. And they're only going to receive this in email if they have the appropriate tag on it. And we would apply that tag right when we identify they are a balance due. So likely around this stage of 8879 has been sent. So return complete, send 8879. We would also make a task in there of apply the tag refund or payment due. And that will then trigger our emails appropriately in our final stage. So we can create a very custom experience. And this can be as elaborate as providing them a beautiful document. This is what Jessica Smith is doing. She has a beautiful Canva document that we've actually shared within our membership so that you can see and create one of your own. But she has instructions for each entity that she serves in her clients. So she has a federal, how do I file my, or how do I make my payment for federal? How do I make my payment for Oregon? How do I make my payment for Arizona? How do I make my payment? So all the states where she has clients that are located and filing returns, that is where she's providing instruction to them on how to make their payments so that it walks them with beautiful screenshots. There's no confusion. As I mentioned before, I am a very smart woman with a master's degree, and I can't figure this stuff out sometimes. And so having documents like that ensures that everyone, regardless of their education, regardless of their experience in filing to pay off in tax liability, they are able to know exactly what to do. And they don't have to like refresh themselves. That is a very powerful way. Now, I also wanted to mention while I'm here, in your offboard process, it's not just clients that we're offboarding. We also need to be thinking about how do I make sure that I am preparing my back end for my end of the process, right? And this should be done in all of your processes, not just tax preparation. You should be thinking through what do I need to do at the end of each of these processes. But we had a question asked in our community recently, and someone said, hey, what should I do at the end of the pipeline when I've completed my tax preparation for this client? Do I just archive the job? Yes, that is one step. But before you do that, we highly recommend as a best practice that you also take action on making sure that your working papers are solid and complete in your client documents before you go forward. So what does that mean? That means printing off your organizer and making sure that is part of your folder subsection in TaxDome so that those all live together as working documents, because there is information provided in the organizer that will inform a future audit if one was to happen, or future reminder to you as to why you did the elections that you did in their return. The next one is making sure that you're saving and printing any messages as well to the documents, working documents, and the permanent file of that client. That is an important one. Then you can archive all the rest, clean up that message chat, the chat for the client so that they're not having a lot of noise when they go in there. And the other one is if you feel it's required or necessary, you could print off the signature pages for 8879s into the permanent file, also engagement letters into the file. So there are things you need to do. And you're probably like, isn't that why I have TaxDome? Yes, but things change, situations change. You may decide to scale your practice to 100 employees. TaxDome may no longer fit your needs at that point. Do you really want to go back on all of your clients over the last 5 years and do this work when you're trying to transition to a new tool? No. So let's think proactively and do the cleanup now. These are perfect tasks for someone in a VA role, an assistant role, a hire a kid home from college role. These are how you will save massive amounts of time and energy later, and also protect your best interests by doing risk mitigation now. So keep that in mind. Now, all of these pieces come together to finalize our return and the completion steps for our offboarding. So these are things you want to be thinking about. Once you have completed that checklist that is appropriate to you in your practice, you will need to make the best decisions based on your needs and your understanding of the rules. Then we would archive the job. What archiving the job does is it removes it from our actives list. Now you can do this all along through the tax season, or you can just leave them all queued up here in the complete section of your pipeline. It's your choice. The thing about TaxDome is there's 85 ways to do everything, and everyone can customize to their need and their desires. That is why groups like our program, Workflows for Tax Pros, are so powerful, because we're showing you all the different ways you can do things and helping you figure out what is going to be the best solution for you. It is not just here's how you build a pipeline. It is a bigger, broader operational thinking that will have you working smarter long-term so that you can get back more time. You can increase your profit even more. And that is the power of our program. So I wanted to show you this, how do we archive it? We would just select the job, click archive. And what the archive does is it basically just bundles it up, puts it on the shelf in the client account so that we can always access it later, having access to all of the things that are linked to that job, the messages, the contracts, the invoices, all the pieces will be linked and stored beautifully out of our site on our client account in the pipeline section of their system. So I hope you found value in this. If you did, send me lots of hearts, lots of thumbs ups in the chat. I look forward to coming back to you each and every week, providing lots of important tips on how to use TaxDome, and I will see you again next Wednesday. Have a great day.